You ever find yourself scrolling on your phone late at night and then, boom, you look up and an hour's gone by and you are wide awake? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. So let's get into the science of why that bright screen is just so good at stealing your sleep.
It all starts with this feeling. A feeling I bet a lot of us can relate to. Just like this user said, trying to work at night, it's not just that the brightness hurts your eyes, right? It feels, well, just wrong. It's disruptive. So the big question is, why does it feel so harmful? What is actually going on inside our brains when we're staring at a screen in the dark? How can a little bit of light have such a powerful effect on us? Okay, to get to the bottom of this, we have to go on a little investigation. Deep inside the brain. We're looking for a tiny but incredibly important structure that basically acts as our body's internal darkness detector. And here it is. Meet the pineal gland. It's tiny, about the size of a single grain of rice, and it's tucked right into the very center of your brain. But don't let its size fool you, its job is absolutely massive. And here's a wild piece of history for you. The famous philosopher René Descartes, way back in the 17th century, was so captivated by its unique central spot in the brain that he actually called it the seat of the soul. How cool is that? But its scientific job is honestly just as profound. The pineal gland's whole purpose, its entire reason for being, is to figure out if it's light or dark outside. And once it knows, it has to tell the rest of your body what time it is. So, how does it actually send that message? Well, it does it by creating this super powerful chemical messenger, a hormone that literally shouts, "Hey, it's nighttime," to every single cell in your body. And that hormone is melatonin. Now, you've probably heard it called the sleep hormone, right? But it's actually way more accurate to call it the darkness hormone, because its presence in your system is the official signal that your biological night has finally begun. Okay, I know this looks a little complicated, like something straight out of a chemistry textbook, but the story here is actually super simple. When it's dark, your brain takes serotonin. Yep, the same feel-good chemical you hear about, and it just converts it into melatonin. That's it. But here's the absolute key. This whole process only works in the dark. So, check out this graph. This shows you what a normal, healthy melatonin rhythm looks like over a full 24 hours. See that? During the day, your levels are flat, basically zero. Then, as it gets dark, they start to climb and climb and climb, hitting their peak right in the middle of the night, usually between 2 and 4 a.m. Then they fall right back down before you wake up. That beautiful curve, that's your body's natural clock working perfectly. But, and here's the conflict, this ancient biological system that depends on darkness is now up against a very modern problem, artificial light. And yeah, you guessed it, especially the light from our screens. Now, look, any bright light at night can slam the brakes on melatonin production, but it turns out our brain's little darkness detector is especially, and I mean exquisitely, sensitive to one specific color of light. And that wavelength is blue light, specifically light in the 460 to 480 nanometer range. The special cells in our eyes that talk directly to our internal clock, they just go nuts for this stuff. And wouldn't you know it, that is the exact kind of light that our phones, tablets, and computer screens are so good at pumping out. So let's break this down. It's really a tale of two scenarios. On the right, you have darkness. The brain's master clock, this little area called the SCN, sends out the all-clear signal. Go, 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 make melatonin. But on the left, when your eyes see that blue light, that signal to the SCN becomes a giant red stop sign. It shuts the whole factory down. Your brain is literally being tricked into thinking it's still the middle of the day. And the result is what scientists call a phase shift. Basically, your entire internal clock gets shoved later into the night. Just look at that delayed blue curve on the graph. Your melatonin isn't peaking until, 5 or 6 in the morning? So you might be trying to fall asleep at 11 p.m., but as far as your brain is concerned, it's still happy hour. So what's the fallout from all this? What are the real-world consequences of a disrupted clock? I mean, what does this nightly time travel actually feel like? Wow, okay, this chart right here, it really says it all. Look at how perfectly everything lines up. Your peak melatonin level happens at the exact same time as your lowest body temperature, your lowest point of alertness, and your absolute worst performance. It all syncs together. So, when you push that melatonin peak later with your screen, you're also pushing back that moment when you actually feel sleepy. It all gets delayed. Okay, so that's the problem. It's a pretty big one. But the good news is we can fight back. So how do we reclaim our biological night? How can we use our devices without letting them completely hijack our brains?
Well, the simplest solution is probably already on your phone: night mode. Think about it. On the left, you've got a standard screen just blasting your brain with that melatonin-blocking blue light. But on the right, a screen in night mode filters out those exact problem-causing wavelengths. It shifts the whole color palette to the warmer, redder end of the spectrum. And that is the signal your brain needs to go, oh, okay, it's actually dark out. Time to start the melatonin factory.
And seriously, the tools to do this are everywhere now. Apps like Redshift and F.Flux were the pioneers. They've been doing this for years. But now, pretty much every phone and computer has this feature built right in. You've probably seen it. It's called Night Shift or Night Light. Go find it. Turn it on. This is your first and best line of defense.
So here's the takeaway. We can control the light from our screens, and that's huge. But it also leads to a much bigger question. Tonight, when you're getting ready for bed, I want you to just take a look around your home. What about those super bright LED lights in your kitchen or in the bathroom? Your screen might finally have a night mode, but does the rest of your home?